So hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our community call with Joseph Jaiyeola. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm Stella Min. I am the program manager for the Academic Data Science Alliance, or ADSA for short. ADSA is a community of data science leaders, practitioners, and educators who take responsibility for a just and equitable future where data science approaches are thoughtfully applied in all domains for the benefit of all. This community call is brought to you by the Career Development Network, or the CDN. The CDN is a professional development network for students, practitioners, and educators who share advice and resources to advance careers in data science. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then you're welcome to join. Membership is free. You can learn more about the CDN and join on our website. I'll drop the link here in a second, but it's also shown on the screen. And also, you are welcome to reach out to me anytime if you have questions. I oversee programming and events for the CDN, including community calls like this one. But today I'm not speaking, I'm just the note taker. So I'm just going to be assisting Joseph today. So today we will have the pleasure of learning LinkedIn career advice from Joseph Jaiyeola. Joseph is a graduate research assistant and PhD student in the Applied Demography program at the University of Texas at San Antonio. He's also the managing editor for the journal Population Research and Policy Review, PRPR. Joseph's research centers on the intersection of young adulthood, socioeconomic mobility, and health disparities. Joseph has been recognized as an expert voice on the topic of research skills on LinkedIn. And today he's going to share how he became a top voice and how we can all follow in his footsteps to do the same. So thank you, Joseph, for sharing your knowledge on this subject today.
Thank you so much, Stella, for that warm welcome. Just to get us to know, so this is not going to be super serious like you would think for the everyday presentation. So this is going to be like in a way semi-formal and also informal, right? So I don't know if you guys could see my screen. Just okay, thank you. So just like Stella said, so I'm currently a PhD student at the University of Texas, San Antonio. So I'm doing applied demography. So in case you don't know what that is, it's basically data science and public health. So going into our discussion today, so becoming a top voice on LinkedIn. I remembered having to become a top voice on LinkedIn after I attended a program organized by ADSA. That's like the same association that we are on right now. And most times we really need something to just motivate us or remind ourselves what we are really capable of. So I hope that after today's meeting, some of you, the discussion today would be like a reminder. Some it would be like you're learning something entirely new. So what I think most importantly is for you to take actions, because I took actions, and that is where I can in a way sort of share the steps that I made. So without no further ado, so this is going to be the outline for today's discussion. So I'm going to talk about what's the LinkedIn top voice, and also why you should care about being a top voice on LinkedIn, other benefits of LinkedIn. Also, I will talk about hacks for maximizing your LinkedIn account. Also, I will talk about tips to achieve LinkedIn top voice. Also, we'll also talk about tips to achieve, so just go back to that 1 second, please. So we'll talk about tips to achieve LinkedIn top voice. We'll talk about the common myths people have about LinkedIn. We'll also talk about practical examples, questions and answer. So just so you know, you could stop me in between while talking to ask questions, but there'll also be a section for question and answer. So let me go right into it. So the question is, what's LinkedIn top voice? So I got the LinkedIn top research voice. So the LinkedIn top voice is available for everyone in every field. So for example, we have the AI, we have the data science, we have different fields, either content writing, copywriting. So irrespective, so LinkedIn has a badge for every field. So the badge is bestowed by LinkedIn upon choosing professional within its platform who consistently contributes insights, initiate discussion, interact with audience within their specific field. I know this looks a little bit complex and this is not what you want, but let's just give this a definition, right? Um, so thinking about it is, why should you care about being a LinkedIn top voice? So one thing you need to know is like LinkedIn top voice is an award or is also an accomplishment that you could in a way talk about in maybe in your CV or probably when you are talking about your profile. Also see it as part of like your online CV. So LinkedIn is one of like the places recruiters or potential persons will look into, I mean, professionally, if they want to see your credibility. So, and this goes to the next point of the fact that LinkedIn gives you credibility. So people want to know if you can really prove what you say you can do. And so it just gives you like a wide range of opportunities. I'm going to show us, um, I'm going to show us more of, I think, yeah, you guys can only see mine. This is perfect. Sorry about that. Okay, so just from like where I stop, right? So this is, so LinkedIn gives you like a wide range of like opportunities. So you also like allows like hiring managers sometimes look into your profile. So your profile shows up for anyone who is headhunting. So headhunting means someone who is trying to look for someone, either as a recruiter or an hiring manager. So the thing that I really wanted just to know is that, so when people look into your profile, they see like the badge on your profile. So it's not like LinkedIn calls you to give you an award or send you an award to your house. So, and the LinkedIn top voice is something that is maintained every 60 days. So there's a part of you having to keep the award or having to like work for it consistently. But it might sound very complex. So the reason why we are having this conversation is to demystify and let us know that actually it's not as complex as it sound. And you don't have to be like a graduate, or you don't have to be like a manager of a company before you can actually have a top voice badge on your profile. So this is just like other benefits of having a LinkedIn presence or having a LinkedIn profile. So one of the things is that you sort of get updated on trends in your industry globally. So you are not just confined to like what is happening in your school or within your organization. So you get to see what other persons are saying. For example, the first time I knew about ChatGPT was on LinkedIn, and I was like, what's the buzz with this AI stuff? And people started talking about it. And I think I was part of like the first people who, I don't know, that's not like, that's not factual, but like I knew that was really part of those who quickly checked it out and say, what is the buzz all about? So imagine you have to read the news by yourself, and sometimes reading the news could be boring. So I feel like LinkedIn is where people have read the news, so they come to tell you what is the most important stuff. So that is why I think everyone who wants to take their career profession like very seriously should have like a LinkedIn presence or a LinkedIn profile. And that thing is like, it's also an opportunity to like get a mentor or like be a career coach. So meaning that irrespective of the level you are, either you are entry level, mid, or let's say you are like the top of your career, if you care about like giving value to people, so LinkedIn is like that platform you can find people to in a way pour value to them directly or indirectly, either from like the information that you're going to share on LinkedIn or either from messaging people. So also if you are sort of like in your entry level of your career, just like me, so LinkedIn is also an opportunity for you to like meet people, to talk to them, to ask questions, about to reach out to people on LinkedIn about what is like the kind of courses or certifications I can take, because people are just well knowledgeable and a lot of people are willing to share information for free. And because so you just have to like sort of ask and position yourself rightly. Also, it's just a platform to network generally. So a lot of people have found their spouse on LinkedIn. So, but that's not the primary purpose of going on LinkedIn, right? So it's just a platform where you network with people, either meet up for coffee and things like that. So, and one of the ways I try to see LinkedIn for myself is the fact that LinkedIn is just a social media. I feel like if we think about LinkedIn from that perspective, it's going to help us to visit LinkedIn more. So the way you want to socialize on either Twitter or Instagram or whatever social media that you really love to visit. So LinkedIn is that one social media. Hi, for one, let's say I'm bored, I would go to the streets of LinkedIn and scroll and check, oh, what is happening or what are people saying and stuff like that. So even lately, people have been posting memes on LinkedIn, but some people are saying, oh, you're not supposed to do that on LinkedIn. So what I'm saying is not as very, very professional as you think it is. You don't have to wear like a tie or a suit or a jacket before you post on LinkedIn. So you could be in your room and do what you want to do. So just to like let us know like the wide range of people that are using LinkedIn. So you're not just one, or this is not like, oh, this LinkedIn is not a thing. So LinkedIn has been a thing for a while. So LinkedIn has over 1 billion users in more than 200 countries. So that means that's a good track record if you're going to think about that for a professional platform. And a lot of sources have actually rated LinkedIn as one of the top platforms for professionals. um, so these are like the acts for maximizing your LinkedIn account. The thing about it is that one of like the criteria to getting a top voice or getting a top badge on LinkedIn is that you first of all have to have like a good optimized profile. So we need to sort of lay this foundation for us in a way, because if I just tell you, oh, do these post twice a week, post this type of content, and you do not get like the results because I've actually like in a way made my account optimized before doing those things. So the reason for these conversations is just to like remind us, like I said, some of us would be like a reminder, some it would be like, oh, you're learning something new. So the ask for maximizing your LinkedIn accounts is first of all, you need to set up a good profile or optimize your profile. So basically, if you don't have a LinkedIn account and you're here, I feel like after this call, just go to your Google Play Store or go to your Apple Store and search for the word LinkedIn and download an account. But I want to assume we all have an account. So we need to set up like a good profile, optimize your profile. Also, you need to share content. And that thing is also you need to look for endorsement and recommendation. And I'll also share additional tips. So these are like the four main categories that I'm going to be talking about. So the subsequent slide is going to be elaborating on each of these categories, on how you can set up a good profile, how you can share content, and what do I mean by endorsement and recommendation, and additional tips I would talk about. So how do you like set up a good profile or optimize your profile? So all of these are not like one stone rule where if you do not do this, you will not get results. So, but these are like what people have said has worked. So I feel like if it works, don't change it. Just do it and get the same result, right? So one of the things you want to do is to have a professional profile picture. But it depends on what you define as professional. But I think just wear something nice. It doesn't have to be like a jacket, but wear something nice that you would want to show like a recruiter, or you want to look your best. And that thing also, you want to have a cover photo that depicts your industry. I'm going to show us what that looks like during the practical section. Another thing you also want to do is to ensure that you have a good profile summary. So this is where you talk about yourself, also where you talk about like your profile headlines. Also on your LinkedIn page, remember I spoke about the fact that LinkedIn is like your online CV. So you have to like detail your education and your certifications. So anytime you get a new certification or you enroll into a new course, so LinkedIn should be one of the first places that you need to, impute those certifications. Not necessarily that you have to talk about those certifications or those new education all the time. Just put it there on your profile just in case you forget about, oh, I did this certification. Other things you also have to do is to include your work and volunteering experience. A whole lot of time people feel like volunteering experience doesn't matter. The same way like you would, it would matter for like a CV, it might also matter for like a LinkedIn profile. Also take LinkedIn as like a place where, if you want to have a very short CV and you can't include all your volunteering experience, so LinkedIn might be a good place for you to impute those volunteering experience you could not impute in your CV. Also add relevant skills. Either you could code or you could write. So there's LinkedIn allows you to put in those options on your profile. But most importantly, I would say that if you are at the beginning phase of your profile, of your career, you want to have keywords. And I'm going to show us what this means. So you don't want to just write, I love to write. So you want to use words like content writing, copywriting. You don't just say, oh, I love data sets. That might not be a keyword somebody will search on LinkedIn. So you could have something like either data scientist or data analyst, something that, when somebody searches for, your profile is more likely to, pop up. So one thing I would just say, like a summary for optimizing your LinkedIn profile is to just let it mirror your CV, right? Because if you do not have a good CV, you probably would not be able to impute those things on your LinkedIn profile. So just taking one step back, if you feel like your CV needs some things for you to work on, think after this call, you could reach out to people. I'm sure ADSA is also going to have like where you could also work on CVs or get more information to try to also optimize your CV so you could impute those content on your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to the next category, so content sharing. So content sharing doesn't always have to mean you write something entirely like new or novel. And a lot of time, this is where people sorry, this is where people are really like stuck. You're like, what do I really want to say? So I'm gonna give you a practical example. So I have like some of my faculty members on LinkedIn, and so these are like people who taught me the things I know today. And I feel like, what would I say that they don't know? So I think after I came to realize that they are not the only people on LinkedIn, there are people who don't know what I know, and that's how life is gonna be. So there are people who know like what you don't know. There are people who, so you know more than people know more than you do. So don't have this imposter syndrome of, oh, people know this already. I'm not going to talk about this until I find something that is novel. That is when I'm going to start sharing content. No. So it could be as simple as divining what data analysis is. It could be as simple as explaining how to install something. So just ensure that you are taking intentional effort to post on LinkedIn, because that's the way people can get to know that you are actually using LinkedIn. So apart from you even creating a content yourself, if you find a content very valuable and you feel like, oh, I got value from this, you could also reshare those posts. So with that, your friends or your connections would get to see those posts or those content. There are people who literally have reshared a content, and because they reshared someone else's content because it was valuable to me, I ended up following those set of person. So, people could decide to follow you or be part of your connection because you reshared a valuable content. So, also one of the things you can do is to comment your thoughts on a particular subject. So commenting your thoughts doesn't mean saying nice posts, great posts, awesome. I mean, comment your thought, like, what did you think? It could either be like opposing somebody, but if you want to oppose, try to ensure you do it like politely, or you can also say, oh, I agree to what you say. This is how I've done it, and things like that. So that's one way for you to maximize LinkedIn. Giving valuable comments on LinkedIn Learning. And this is actually one of like the biggest thing you really want to focus on, because this is one of like the top things I did for me to be able to achieve the LinkedIn top voice. Like I said, during the practical section, I'm going to show us how we could comment on the LinkedIn Learning and how you could search for it. Because what LinkedIn does is that they suggest you to comment on the LinkedIn Learning. But if they do not suggest you to comment on LinkedIn Learning, so there's a way you could search for it by yourself to comment, then somehow the algorithm would work in your favor because you are pushing the algorithm to that direction. This is also something a lot of people would not like to do, or one of the issues people have with LinkedIn is to talk about the achievements on LinkedIn. So either your big win or your small win. This would be dependent on like your temperament or your person. So I, for one, there was a point in my life I was, in a way, putting myself all out there, and I was like, oh, I'm going to post every single achievement I made. And there was a point in my life I felt like I did not want that noise. I wanted to be by myself because I felt like I was still figuring stuff out. And especially if you're in school, you are like a phase of your life that you have this next big dream, and you're like, oh, I want to wait, I want to wait, I want to wait. And I think that was like the kind of mindset I had before coming for the Scholar in Training workshop that was organized by ADSA. And I think after like the discussion, I just felt like there's really no perfect timing to, in a way, talk about like my small win. So I started posting and talking about my achievement again, and then I got the results. So this is more like an encouragement that, you know, sometimes you don't want to do it like every day. I think one way you could, in a way, sort of compensate yourself is when you talk about your achievements, you can talk about like the lessons you learned from it. So people can learn not just about, oh, you got something, but like probably the struggles or the fact that you failed initially before you got an approval, or like the mindset you had. So that could be a sort of encouragement to others. And if you are someone who goes to LinkedIn and you feel like a little bit like, I won't use the word depressed, or like you feel like a lot of people are achieving and like you're not getting anything, I think like you don't want to compare yourself with people. So your biggest comparison should be yourself. So all rather than people's achievement being like something that will make you feel bad, I think rather it should be something that would encourage you to let you know about the possibilities of life and say, oh, the fact that this person got this was means that I could get it also. So I think for me, the first internship I got last summer was because I saw a friend of mine posted about our internship, and I was like, oh, meaning I could also get an internship. Before then, I wasn't thinking about getting an internship during the summer, right? So that was like a positive effect for me. So think about like you posting your achievements, how it could also be like a positive effect for someone else. You might not be able to measure that, but like indirectly or directly, you are helping someone and all. So so LinkedIn recommendation. So LinkedIn has, like I said, so LinkedIn is like an online CV, the way you could have like a recommendation for whatever stuff you're applying for. So LinkedIn has like a section for you to request recommendations from your coworkers, your friends, or your fellow LinkedIn network. You could request for the recommendation. They could go to your profile and write a recommendation for you. I think one easy step is that you also want to give people recommendation, because if you give someone a recommendation, the person can in turn decide to give you a recommendation. That doesn't sound like trade by barter, but like it's just a way someone looks at, oh, your friends are writing something good about you, and that's a credibility in itself. So you don't have you don't have to get like recommendation from like the CEO of like a top 4 to 500 company. Start with your friends, start with your colleague, and people you've worked with on the team. You finish the project, and ensure that the recommendations are formal. So don't allow someone write something on your profile that say, oh, this person is such a good guy. That doesn't give context. So they should speak in relation to a project, or speak in relation to your attitude towards work. So it could just be something of 2 to 3 sentences, and that would suffice. Um, Additional tips that I would really talk about is check out what other persons are doing on LinkedIn. Like the best way to really maximize LinkedIn or to know about how things are changing is to try to see what are people posting, what are people talking about. So that would be like something that would give you like a guide or direction. If you are not very familiar with LinkedIn, I feel like before you start to post on LinkedIn, try to observe, try to see what others are doing. Another thing I would talk about is try to have at least 500 connections. And this might be like, what do you mean 500 connections? That sounds like a lot of people. So a lot of time, so LinkedIn is not Facebook. LinkedIn is not like an account or social media where you only connect to people that you know. So I've had people who say, I don't accept connections. So just for context, connections are friends on LinkedIn. So they use the word connections. So some people say, I don't accept connections from people who I don't know. So LinkedIn is not a platform like that. So I think you should accept connection from people if you see that they have a profile. I mean, some people could actually set up like a fake account. You could know that with the way their account looks like. So the reason why I said 500 connection is that so when somebody looks into your profile, so what LinkedIn does is that LinkedIn tells them the number of connection you have. So if you have less than 500 connections, LinkedIn is going to give them the exact number of connections that you have. But if you have 501 connection and someone has 10,000 connection, LinkedIn is going to write 500 plus. So the person would only know further except they dig into your profile and they see the exact number. So what happens is when somebody looks into your profile or you send them a connection request and your profile has less than 500, since they could see the exact number, they might feel like probably this person is new on LinkedIn or this person, there's a sort of bias that that number gives. But 500 sounds like a good number, but doesn't mean you should stay at 500. So these are like additional tips, right? So they're not something that you really have to do. So they're just what I think, and you could work towards it. Connect with professionals within your career. I think that's like one of the ways to really this LinkedIn algorithm. Like if you see someone in your field that is really posting something really good, try to connect with them. For example, if I see someone who posts regularly about internships or talks about like data science, I would connect with you because with that, LinkedIn is going to show me more content related to what they are posting. So I'm not like I'm going to LinkedIn and I'm saying somebody who is posting about electrical engineering, and I feel like what am I doing here? Just to remind us, make sure you keep it professional. So I mean, keep it professional as you want to. Don't banter anybody. This is not Twitter. You could I mean, it's not me. You don't want to just, and you also like your usage of words. You don't want to use informal like ways to chat with people. So I think just keep it professional. Um, I would say this slowly. Switch on your job alert if you need a job. Um, but advise against using open to work. So I'm going to show us what this look like. So there's a badge LinkedIn has for open to work, and I think it was something they introduced about 2, 3 years ago. People speaks about the badge being looking like it's like a desperation. So when you say I'm open to work and there's a badge on your profile picture, it shows that like I really, really need to get a job. And when it comes to about getting a job, it's a two-way thing. So the employer is benefiting and you're also benefiting. So you could switch on your job alert where you get notifications for job, or I think I would advise against using open to work. So do not feel intimidated to make your first post. So maximize the post schedule. So I'm going to show us what the post schedule means. So during our practical section. So so these are like the top things that you need to do for you to, I mean, all things are equal, right? Let's say you have a good profile, everything is good. So these were the two things that I know I did differently by the time I earned the top research voice badge. So what I did was I gave valuable comments on LinkedIn Learning and I posted on my niche. So I did not just post anything. I wasn't just posting anything. I posted on my niche. And I'm also going to show us what it means by posting on your niche. Um, so these are like the common myths that people have about LinkedIn. So the first thing is like, oh, LinkedIn is only for job seekers. I don't need a job right now. I have admission. LinkedIn, when I'm done graduating, I'm gonna come install you. There's really no perfect timing. Just like I said, I feel like the best time to get something is not when you really need it. Imagine if you set up your profile so good that recruiters have started to reach out to you even before you need a job. There's a way it gives you like a confidence that, oh, I'm valuable. It also gives you that opportunity ready when you really need a job. Also, another myth is that people think, oh, you need to know a lot to join. I need to take some course or certification. No, it's just a social media. I think you remind yourself about that. And that thing is that it is time demanding. I don't think it's a social media again. So I think that's like the antidote. It's like this is just a social media. It's not time demanding as you think. You don't have to be a content creator, right? For you to maximize LinkedIn. Others would think it's only for graduates, just like it's only for job seekers. So you don't have to be a graduate before you can, start maximizing LinkedIn. It's intimidating. It's only for experts. So whatever category that you hire, I think that within this conversation, you've been able to know that, okay, I'm not going to make this like in a way discourage me from maximizing LinkedIn. So like the practical example, so I'm going to stop, I'm going to share my screen on my LinkedIn profile. So this is my profile. So I think it's taking a while. Try to, okay. So I spoke about having a profile badge. I, I spoke about having like a cover photo that depicts your industry. So this is a picture I used that sort of depicted my industry. So LinkedIn allows you to do this here where you could put any picture. I could change this right now. So I have a profile picture for myself, and this is a little bit professional, I think. Also, I have keywords on my profile. One thing is, if you notice, I only have 3 here. For me, I think 3 is a good number. Like 4, 5, I think it's too much. So right now, so PhD student might not sound like it might not sound like a keyword, but like some people would actually search PhD students. Let's say those who are looking for somehow like interns. So and I have research data scientists. So right now, some people might think, oh, I'm a student. I'm not a research data scientist, but I'm a research data scientist by training. And I don't have to wait till I have my PhD before I could say I'm a research data scientist. So you could actually put things on your profile that you know that you are on your way to get. So if you were to look at my profile on your end, what you would see here would just be this 500 plus connection. You would not see this number until you dig into my profile that well. So you see I have my education, and so this is called featured posts. So LinkedIn allows you to, in a way, pin the post that you prefer. So most of the posts I pin here or I featured here, they're posts that are really like very valuable to either my career or I garnered a lot of tractions when I did post them. So this is like my post. So they talked about 6 hours ago. This is about me, so about my profile. So you see, this it's been a while I updated this. If I was going to work on this, I would probably have something like this, but I just kept it short. This is where I am, and this is what I can do. So looking at the section where I spoke about having like your experience. So I have my graduate research assistantship here, my summer internship, my previous work experience. So also my education. So it's more like it's mirroring my CV and also like the certifications I have, the volunteering experience I have. So these are the endorsements that I spoke about. So somebody could come to your profile and endorse you. So you could reach out to your friends and say, oh, do you mind endorsing me for data analysis? Do you mind endorsing me for this certain skill? So this is the recommendation I have. So these are people who you could just read a list of them, just so you sort of have an idea. So these are the ones I've given people. So you see, it's not like just one-sided thing. And so going further in profile, it's taking a while. Okay. So yeah, I think this like majority. So I want to show us how you search for people. So LinkedIn, I tell people that LinkedIn is like Google for searching people. So if you search for, let's say I want to search for, let me say data analyst, right? So this is if you want to see what people are posting. So you search for data analyst. I try not to click on anything. You see, LinkedIn is already giving me suggestion, but you don't want to click on anything. You just, when you search for data analyst, just click on your return or your enter. So it brings you something. So just taking a while to load. Then you filter by people, because what you are trying to look for is, so you're looking for people who have data analyst on their profile. So filter by people. So after filtering by people, then I start to look at people's profile who are data analysts. I start to dig in a little bit to see, oh, this is how they set up their profile. And I could even from there know other keywords that they used. Oh, they have either business analyst, business intelligence analyst on their profile. So you keep doing that digging, that search. You find, or you could also connect with them. So this is like connect. So just so that you can have people within your industry that are like within your industry and your connection, so that the algorithm is going to make sense. Now, normally, so there's LinkedIn notification. So doing LinkedIn notification, I might not have a recent notification that shows where LinkedIn invited me to speak on a topic. I'm trying to find one, but it might take a while because I kind of have notifications every day. So normally, if you set up your profile well, LinkedIn is going to send you notification for you to contribute on a subject. But if LinkedIn doesn't send you a notification, because it might take a while, so you come to the search and you search for example, this is a research I did recently. So I searched for research. So you need to know what would be like a top voice badge for your industry. So if you think that you are a content writer or you're a copywriter, you can just search for copywriter. If you think you are a data analyst, you can search for data. So I search for research. Ensure you are not picking anything. From there, it pops up different things. So it's taking a while. So I know I'm not looking for people. I know what I'm looking for is trying to find, so this is page by LinkedIn skill. So this is a job, this is posts. So this is one I searched recently. Trying to find, okay, so it's on that job filter. So let's find, oh, it's not a job filter though. I think it was easier when I did with my phone. So let me use something else, market research. So I think the whole point is the fact that I think it might be a page. The whole point is the fact that you can actually search the LinkedIn learning and comment on it. Let me filter by page. Let's think about it again. Wow. People, products, posts. So let's see what happens here. Okay, yeah. So you just have to scroll down. So just scroll down. So you need when you scroll down, anything you search for, the logo has to look something like this. It also has this LinkedIn and it also has this color. So click on it. Let's say market research. So this is the LinkedIn learning. They have different topics. So what you come is that you look for like a topic that you are interested in. So you are in charge of a market research project. What is the best way to manage this from start to finish? Probably you don't know an answer to this. I don't give comment on things I don't know about. I would write on only stuff I know about, because LinkedIn, people are going to like react to it. So let's say I'm interested in writing this, right? You need to communicate your market research finding. How can you ensure they are understood? I click on add perspective. And LinkedIn has this section. They even have like a subheading, know your audience. So if you click on know your audience, you're going to speak something in relation to that. But most times what I do is I just come to what else to consider, and I try to write something. So LinkedIn writes it, contribute to your more article in this skill to be eligible to earn a top market research badge. Check back tomorrow for your updated progress. This sounds like this is not a magic. This is as simple as I showed you. So let's search for like another field. Let's search for, let me assume somebody's like writing. So I think that was it. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to like search for something else. So it takes a while. Click scroll down. So in case you did not find, just keep tweaking like a search. So going on from LinkedIn, so I want to show you how I kind of create my post on LinkedIn. So I would like to say that first of all, like as graduate students, or if you have a job, you are going to be a busy person. Like everyone is busy. So how or what's the techniques for me creating my post on LinkedIn? I don't post every day on LinkedIn. So this is what I did. I kind of after like the talks with after the SIT meeting with ADSA, I spoke to myself. I need to have something I want to talk about for a longer period of time. So that is going to give me like a commitment of I want to keep posting within my niche. But if I think of I just want to post something one time, I might not be consistent. So what I did was I had a topic that I wanted to speak about, and the topic was talking about data analysis techniques. The stuff I was sharing was very basic. For someone who is like mid-level, high level, they would know whatever I'm saying, but I didn't think about the fact that I wanted to say something novel. So whatever your field is, I spoke about, okay, I want to talk about data analysis techniques. So this was the first post. I gave like a commitment to LinkedIn community and said, guys, for the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking about this. So I had this kind of invisible accountability partner. So the following week, I kind of wrote a content. I just thought about this, and from writing the first week to the second week to the third week. So what I did was I only posted once a week because I knew that I will not be able to post it every day. If I post every day, I mean, I might run out of content. And posting this every day, every week wasn't very easy. So what I did was I did set an alarm on my phone on Saturday evenings and Sunday evenings. So let's say I am able to work on the content Saturday evenings. I write the content. If I'm not able to work on the Saturday evening, I write it on Sunday. Then I schedule the post to be posted live on Monday. So this is how to schedule a post live. So you schedule a post. So let's say you come here. The interface is different if you're on your phone. I work with my phone, so it's easier. So I also encourage you to have like the mobile app. You write a post, let's just take a while. So let's say today is a good day. I'm going to delete this after. So instead of clicking on post, this is a time, say schedule for later. So you could schedule this post as long as like God knows when. This is like maybe say March 15. I pick a time. So what I did was I would schedule for every Monday, 9 a.m. my time. And immediately I click on next, it's sort of and you could go ahead to like delete your schedule post. You just click on schedule. So I think the whole point is the fact that you can maximize like the technological advancement that LinkedIn has provided for you to maximize the platform. So to give like a recap of what I did differently before I had my LinkedIn badge and after I had my LinkedIn badge was that I posted content related to my niche, and I contributed to the LinkedIn learning community. So if there's any two things you want to gain from today, LinkedIn has it there. Post regularly would give you the badge. So I think that is like the major thing. If there's anything I'm forgetting, I'm also like going to like speak about them during the question and answer section. If there's a part that you're not clear on, we could talk about it during the question and answer section. Thank you all, and over to you, Stella.